what we've seen over the last 10 years is that players have struggled to come to terms with Old Trafford, managers have struggled to come to terms with Old Trafford. So you've got to look at the fact that they're all good players when you sign them, and they were all great managers when we signed them. So for me, there's something fundamentally wrong that's creating this sort of, if you like, difficulty. And I would say maybe coming through that, maybe the new ownership, the change of personnel would allow maybe these players next season and the manager to feel more stable. I don't see any suitable replacement out there either at this moment in time. Bayern Munich is struggling to find a replacement for their manager. Other clubs are sort of, if you like, struggling as well. I think we should stick with Erik ten Hag, give him one more season to really look at sort of, particularly an injury-free season where we've had obviously a lot of injuries this season as well. So I would say one more season would be worthy, and to see whether we can get back to sort of the standards of last season when we won a trophy and we finished, in the top four and got Champions League football.
Jose Mourinho wants to manage Manchester United for a second time. Jose Mourinho is reportedly interested in returning to Manchester United for a second managerial stint. The Portuguese boss was at the club between the summer of 2016 and December 2018. During his 2.5-year tenure, he led the club to League Cup and Europa League success. But he left the Red Devils in acrimonious circumstances in December, following a disappointing start to the 2018-19 campaign. According to the Manchester Evening News, Mourinho would love to manage United again and has told confidants he would willingly walk to Old Trafford to do so. The 61-year-old is reportedly a friend of the club's co-owner, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. However, the Premier League giants are not interested in reappointing him. Mourinho has managed some of the best clubs in the world, including Real Madrid and Chelsea. The 61-year-old has won a ton of silverware during his career, but his best days are behind him. He failed at Tottenham Hotspur before heading to Serie A. He led Roma to the Europa Conference League title, but was also banned several times for his tirades against match officials. Reappointing Mourinho would be a backward step for a club that desperately needs a lift. Southgate has no plans to pick Manchester United loanee for the Euros, despite recent resurgence. Jadon Sancho has had an improvement in his fortunes since returning to Borussia Dortmund on loan in January. The 24-year-old played a pivotal role in his team's aggregate victory over Paris Saint-Germain in midweek, helping them reach their first Champions League final since 2013. Dortmund's qualification to the final means United will receive a financial windfall. However, despite his recent resurgence, England manager Gareth Southgate has no plans to pick him for the European Championship this summer, per the Daily Star. Southgate has a wealth of talent in wide positions and doesn't want to disrupt his long-term plans by naming Sancho in the squad. He will announce his provisional 26-man training squad later this month, but is expected to reduce it to 23 ahead of the summer tournament. Sancho has not played for the Three Lions since featuring as a substitute against Italy in the Euro 2020 final. The 24-year-old joined Manchester United for a reported £73 million fee in 2021, but failed to live up to expectations. The winger fell out with manager Erik ten Hag, who banished him from the first team for a controversial social media post earlier this season. Manchester United must beat Chelsea and Newcastle to signing of Jules Kean. Manchester United must beat Chelsea and Newcastle United to the signing of Barcelona defender Jules Kean this summer. The Red Devils could make multiple changes to their backline ahead of next season, with several players expected to head for the exit door. Centre-back duo Raphael Varane and Johnny Evans have their contracts expiring on June 30th and could be released with no renewal plans in mind. Right-back Aaron Wan-Bissaka could also be sold in the coming months. He will enter the final year of his contract in July. Barcelona's Koundé could be an ideal replacement for Varane and Wan-Bissaka, with his ability to play in both defensive positions. Mundo Deportivo claim United are one of the clubs interested in Koundé, but they face competition from Chelsea, Newcastle United, Inter Milan, and Paris Saint-Germain. The Nerazzurri are unlikely to be able to afford him with their financial troubles, while PSG may not be a lucrative career option for the Frenchman. This could leave United, Chelsea, and Newcastle vying for the former Sevilla man. Barcelona seem prepared to sell him to balance their books. United have had a tough time with injuries this season. Varane has already missed 12 games, and it is unclear whether he will recover from a muscle injury before the FA Cup final. The club seem to have decided to part ways with the World Cup winner. His compatriot Koundé would be an ideal replacement. His statistics are very impressive, considering he started the campaign as a regular centre-back before becoming a mainstay at right-back under manager Xavi Hernandez. United will need a new right-back with Wan-Bissaka potentially leaving on a cut-price deal. Signing Koundé would allow the club to sort out two positions with a solitary signing. Koundé could be a regular starter in the heart of the defence. He could be deployed at right-back if Diogo Dalot is unavailable or fails to reach the required standard. With Chelsea and Newcastle also in the mix, United must be proactive in their pursuit to avoid missing out on Koundé. The Red Devils should still have an edge over the duo, considering they are more likely to be able to afford the player's wage demands during the next transfer window. Koundé is currently on $224,000 per week, and the 25-year-old may want a rise. The Magpies are unlikely to make such an outlay, with their highest earner being at $160,000 per week. Chelsea have made a constrained effort to lower their wage bill with their recent big money signings, earning under $200,000 weekly. A move for Koundé would break their wage structure. United should be optimistic about signing the Bordeaux graduate, who is valued at $43 million by Transfermarkt. Barcelona may demand a similar fee to part ways with him. Premier League duo monitor, Mason Greenwood transfer situation. Mason Greenwood could receive an offer to stay in the Premier League when he returns to Manchester United this summer. As speculation over Greenwood's future grows, we at least know Getafe will make an offer to retain the forward, so it's not like we are going to be stuck with him. However, it's a matter of finding a club that shares our valuation of the player. Greenwood may not be welcome back to United or around the first team, but he needs to be sold at the right price. Getafe will struggle to meet United's demands for a transfer, and they may even propose a second loan deal. Greenwood's form has caught the eye across Europe this season, with rumoured interest from other La Liga clubs as well as Juventus in Italy. Former England and Juve manager Fabio Capello recently suggested that Turin would be the perfect spot for Greenwood to continue his career at a high level. According to The Telegraph, Greenwood is more likely to opt for a move away from English football altogether, but two unnamed Premier League clubs are believed to be keeping an eye on his situation this summer. Greenwood and his dad are expected to speak with United's new ownership team next month. That is when we will see a definite decision on his future. There is no point letting it drag on all summer when it's clear that Greenwood no longer has a place at United. Sir Jim Ratcliffe demands thorough investigation into Manchester United injury crisis. Manchester United chief Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to open a fresh investigation into the causes of the club's injury crisis this season. It has been part of the conversation for months, and now United have reported over 60 cases of injury or illness this season, with star players missing chunks of the season such as Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw. United manager Erik ten Hag is under pressure to keep his job, and the ongoing injury crisis has done anything but help him in his second season in charge. There is no getting away from the fact United have underachieved, but we still have an FA Cup final to look forward to later this month. The less said about our opponents at Wembley, the better. Ten Hag's inability to field a consistent aid, particularly in defence, has seen United crash out of the Champions League and slump to 8th in the Premier League table. Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants a fresh look at the injury issue, as per the Mirror.